Okay, hey everybody, this is Brent Gove, Sacramento, California. I was asked to tell you why I chose EXP. Came from a 100% company. Went to started out at Keller Williams, went to a 100% company. Thought it couldn't get any better than 100%. Then someone approached me about EXP Realty.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. Welcome to 5 at 5 Live. My name is Karen Romero and I'm going to be your host today. We have some exciting conversations and can't wait to get started. And thanks again for joining us. I would like to introduce our panel first. Our first panelist is Kent Corey and he comes to us from Fort Myers, Florida. Kent.
Hi Karen, how you doing today?
Good, how are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, excellent. I have a background of sales, management, finance. I came into real estate in 2009, just after the economy crashed. I was in the auto industry for many years and working 8 to 8, Monday through Saturday and every other Sunday. So I wanted to do something different. I figured the real estate was at the bottom right then, and it was a good time to jump over. And I was with VIP Realty for a couple of years and then a small boutique firm for a few years and then came on to EXP about 3 years ago, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Awesome. So you found your home.
Absolutely.
Well, glad you're here. Our
you.
next guest is Sean McMenamin. Sean's coming to us from Safety Harbor, Florida. Welcome, Sean.
Hey, Karen, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Great. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Sean.
Well, I've been in the real estate industry about 20 years total, 12 of it being in the mortgage industry. I owned a mortgage company for about 7 of those years. And about 8 years ago, I decided I wanted to go into real estate and moved over. It was a natural fit for me. And I've been with a couple other companies, but just about 2 years ago, moved over to EXP. And I'm very glad I did that. Very happy to be here and look forward to it.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Thanks for being here with us. Our final panelist is Scott Scari, and Scott is coming to us from Ormond Beach, Florida. Scott, welcome.
Hey, Karen. Thanks. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your career.
Well, I've been in real estate 15 years. I had 30 years of wireless telecommunications, and it really wasn't that much of a people business. And I found out that while I like computer programming, I love people. So I got my license in 2005, got my broker's license in 2016. Only been with a couple companies, but I really love being with EXP Realty. It's just a natural fit for me, and the collaboration aspect is probably the most different, I would say, from any other company I've been in.
I hear you. I concur 100%. Well, thank you for being here. So I would like to introduce you to our guest panelist today, or our guest speaker, not really panelist, he's our guest speaker. And his name is Terry Hooker, and he is coming to us from the Palm Coast, Florida. Hi, Terry, welcome.
Thank you, Karen. Hi, everybody.
So Terry is going to talk about teams, large teams and independent brokers and why he made the switch to EXP Realty. So Terry, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in the industry for more than 20 years. I actually started with a company called ERA. And in my first year as a real estate agent, I sold about $7 million in real estate. And then I moved to Realty Executives. I was there for quite a few years before I decided to open my own company called Axiom Realty Group, which I did about 13 years prior to becoming an agent with EXP. And I absolutely loved my career, what I was doing in my company. And now that I'm with EXP, I'm loving it even more.
So you were an independent broker, correct? You own
Correct.
brokerages? Okay.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Tell us how you got into real estate and how you ended up owning your own brokerages.
Well, what actually put me into real estate, I used to be a medic and I worked for the local hospital in Daytona Beach. in the trauma center, and I also worked for the local ambulance company called EVAC. And I was injured really bad on the job, and I was on my back for about a year. And that's what really put me in the real estate industry at the time. My wife said to me, hey, you know what? You'd make a good real estate agent. Why don't you try that? So I did. And that's what put me into real estate. But so when I opened my own company, I did that because I went from ERA to Realty Executives to see how I would do with a larger company.
And those are both franchises, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
But then I decided, I'm like, okay, well, what if I open my own company? Because I felt like, I felt like the brokers only cared about the money that was coming in. They didn't care about actually helping agents. So I wanted to be able to do more for agents. And I wanted to have more control and be able to make decisions on my own. So that's why I got my broker's license and I opened my own company called Axiom Realty Group. I had that for almost 13 years. I had 3 offices in the state of Florida, and I had 8 agents working for me. And we were selling about $35 million a year on average in real estate. So we were very successful. And I was approached by Keller Williams, RE/MAX, and Realty Executives to convert my offices over. And I just didn't think it was worth my while. I didn't see the advantage in doing that. So I said no, and not because they're not great companies, because I feel like they're all fantastic companies. But when I saw the EXP business model, I had to really take a serious look at it.
So you turned down franchises to purchase your company. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Wow. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, because was EXP offering you anything to come over?
EXP didn't offer me a dime, but the franchisors did. They were offering to pay me money.
And why didn't, what was it? Was it, I guess I'm just kind of curious why you didn't take the money and run.
Well, because I wanted to have my own company. I wanted to build my own retirement, which I realized owning my own company, by the way, if something had happened to me, I started thinking about how long would my company be able to survive without me closing real estate, because I could not just be the broker. I had to sell real estate in order to keep things going. So I started to worry about that kind of thing. How long can Axiom Realty Group stay open and solvent if something happens and I'm injured again? Because we already know that happened once in my life. Mm-hmm. So I had to have that. I had that mindset already, that I wanted to be cautious about it. But when I saw the EXP, I realized it was a way for me to grow my business much larger, diversify my business by having agents in other states, not just the state of Florida, and to do it without any overhead at all, and more importantly, without any liability for the agents. Mm-hmm. That was one of the big things for me, is the liability I was having for the agents that work for me. Constantly worried about what they were doing or not doing. And now having 600 full-time employees in our cloud campus who do all of that for me.
So Terry, let me ask you this. How many agents did you have with you at Axiom Brokerage?
I had 8 agents with
me. 8 agents. Okay. Yeah. So when you came to EX, and all those agents were in your area of Palm Coast?
No, we had agents down in Ormond. We had agents down in Port St. Lucie.
How far geographically are those apart?
Oh, Port St. Lucie is about 6 hours south.
Okay. So you had to have a physical office there?
Yes.
Okay. So you couldn't just have, so there wasn't an option. You had to have a physical office if you wanted to open up another brokerage 6 hours away.
Yes.
Okay. So now, how many people at EXP you've been? How long have you been with EXP, by the way?
Just under 3 years.
Okay, and how many agents do you have under you now?
80.
80.
In 10 different states.
Wow. Okay, so in 10 different states.
Yes.
So
You know what's exciting about that is when I had my own company, my agents really were not incentivized to bring me agents.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing in it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and this is one of the big things that I saw about EXP, is as I'm bringing agents on board, they too are bringing agents on board.
Okay.
You know, I have a
So
friend.
touch on that a little bit.
Okay, I have a friend who she and her husband have their own brokerage, a small brokerage, and they've got a very good business, you know, going. And I had talked to them once before about EXP when I first got involved with the company, and at that time they were not interested. And he actually said to me, "Well, what would you do? What are you going to do if the real estate market crashes again like it did in 2007? What are you going to do if it crashes again? You're not going to be making any money." And the thing is, I have agents in 10 states. So, you know, right now we're dealing with the coronavirus. I'm still making revenue share on my agents, which is a referral fee paid to me by EXP because of those agents. Okay, ongoing every month, I get a check from that. Plus, I don't have to worry about the overhead costs that I had. So I don't have to worry about paying those bills, even though we may not be making quite as much money as we need to be making in order to meet those bills.
So tell us your expenses at Axiom Brokerage versus when you transitioned to EXP. Tell us what happened with your expenses, because obviously at EXP, if there's anyone watching this that's not familiar, we are no brick and mortar, correct?
Absolutely.
So
when I had Axiom Realty Group, I was paying $12,000 a year for just one program that I was providing my agents. I had a total overhead cost of $150,000 a year. You know, I mean, people don't realize when you own your own business, everything's much more expensive, especially back then. Things are a little better now. But, you know, 10 years ago, my phone bill was $600 a month. You know, I mean, when you look at things and you look at the overhead costs as far as rent, you know, leases and everything, copy machine rentals, I had to buy computers 3 different times, new computers, because the programs that we were using, the new programs that kept getting introduced to the industry, were not compatible with computers that had the operating systems from, you know, back in the day. So I had to get new computers to keep up with all that stuff. So the overhead cost is never ending and crazy. And I'm so grateful to be part of this company who actually provides all that stuff to us.
So I was going to say, what type of lead generation did you use with Axiom? I think, did you not use the KV Core that they provide you now? Tell us a little bit about that.
I sure did. Actually, back then it was called Conversion, but it's the same thing. And yeah, it was costing me $1,000 a month. I was paying $8,000 a month funneling leads into that system. And back then, it was a monster of a system to have for your agents. And I hold it accountable for as much real estate as we sold. And today, when I look at what KV Core is, it is so much better than what we even had back then.
Mm-hmm. And that's a smart CRM that's provided by EXP for those out there.
That's the thing. You know, KV Core has a lot of levels of their system. We have their top level. So a CRM program means that you have the ability to put all of your customers in that system. And then it gives you the ability to do mass text messaging, mass emailings, and then you can call people and you can set them up on search parameters and this kind of thing. The thing that you have to understand is you have to do it. You have to do it. Well, with the smart CRM program, it's automatically done for you. Mm-hmm. So we are, in a sense, saving you a lot of time because we want you to focus on the things that make you money, like finding a buyer and finding a seller and listing property. We don't want you spending time on unnecessary things. A recent statistic came out by NAR, the National Association of Realtors, that said 77% of agents who sell a house to a client, when that client goes to sell that house 6 to 10 years later, they do not use the same agent, 77%. The single reason for that is because the agent did not stay in touch with them. So imagine a system that we provided, eXp Realty, to our agents, that once you sell a customer a house, you put in their new address into that program, and indefinitely, for a 3-block radius, any house that goes on the market, it sends them a text message and an email saying the house at this address just went on the market. This is what it's on the market for. And I will send you another text message and an email when it sells, informing you as to what the price it was received for the house and what the value of your home is doing over time. And every time it sends an email and a text, it looks different. And they think that you physically went in there, found that information, and sent it to them.
Very powerful.
My question is, when it comes time for them to sell the home, who do you think they're going to use?
Absolutely. They're going to use you.
So we have eliminated eXp agents from that 77%, and that is huge.
Mm-hmm. A lot of retention, repeat business. Yeah, that's great. I want to ask you, let's touch a little bit on when you did, when you were introduced to this business model and you did your due diligence, how fearful were you of your agents not wanting to come with you? Tell us a little bit about that process.
Boy, that's a good question. I was very fearful. I got to tell you, and I was very fearful about doing it. We had a very good business. I was proud of what I built with my wife, Ruth, and it's scary when you do something like this and you're not 100% sure it's going to work, because I wasn't 100% sure it was going to work. But I had to have some faith, and I had to put some trust into the gentleman that shared this concept with me. Is this guy telling me the truth? Do I know that he's being honest with me? But I said to myself, if half of what this man is telling me, I can make this work, if half of what he's telling me is true. So when I spoke to my agents about this company, I did so before joining. And I sat everybody down in a round table and I said, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What are your thoughts on this? And I'm very proud of the fact that my agents basically looked at me and said, we trust you. We trust your opinion. We will go where you go. And that's exactly what happened. And they're still with me today. I would say this to brokers out there that own their own real estate company, whether you're a big franchise or not. When you look at eXp, and if you haven't looked at eXp, you really need to take your pride and put it aside. Believe me, I was proud of my company. But I had to set that aside and think about what is best for my family, my life, my family. Knowing that everything that I'm doing with eXp is willable. Knowing that I can diversify my business and I can grow in other states. Knowing that I can eliminate the stress involved. My first broker ever in real estate passed away at a young age because of stress, more than likely. This industry is not easy, especially when you're an owner broker. My hat's off to everybody out there that has opened their own brokerage and been successful at it. It takes a lot of work. You asked me earlier, you said, do I have time to travel when I had Axiom Realty Group? Did I have the time to go out and travel and do things with my family? The answer is no. very rarely did I have any time. And I like to tell this story about this 50-gallon bucket of stress. Okay. And this 50-gallon bucket of stress is blowing over with stress. So I have to go on vacation. I'm at the point where I need a vacation. I've got to get away from this. So I go for a 2-week vacation, and it takes me the first week just to relax, just to feel good about being there.
Mm-hmm.
And now I come back to work another week later, and my desk is piled high with problems. And that 50-gallon drum was only down this far from the top, and it quickly filled right back up again.
Yep. I think we can all relate.
Yeah. Do I really want to work like that for the rest of my life? Do I really want that to happen for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And EXP has saved me from all of that.
So now not only are you have income coming in from your commission sales, you have income coming in from revenue share from stock, and that's wonderful, unlike where you were, right?
Exactly. Guys, yeah. I won't discuss the income, but it's very, very good. And I can tell you the amount of stock I have is in the 6-figure range.
So you would say that you are making more money at EXP with your team than you were with your 3 brokerages, your brokerages in 3 offices?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
And I'm doing it without any stress. I'm actually, EXP gave me back my life, mm-hmm. and it made me excited about an industry that quite frankly, I wasn't so excited about.
Yeah, because now you can nurture your agents and you can help them grow without the stress of having to go, support them, because they have support in our cloud office, right?
Absolutely. I've been able to help people with problems that, in EXP, help agents be more successful than I ever could have done with Axiom Realty Group.
Yeah. So Terry, I'm going to take this opportunity to, our panelists have questions for you. So I'm going to turn off my mic and bring in Kent Corey. And Kent, what's your question?
Hey, Terry, how you doing today?
Good, Kent. Good to see you.
Yep, you too. Hey, so
I'm fine.
My phone hears me saying Alexa or something.
Okay.
So my question is about the tech package. One of the big reasons why I joined EXP was because of the tech package that they offer. I know that KV Core, I know everything that's there, but why don't you tell us a little bit about what else is involved with the tech package besides just the KV Core, which is phenomenal?
Well, our cloud campus would be one of the big things that I'd love to talk about. I mean, our cloud campus provides us ways to interact with agents across the globe and do it instantly. It gives us access to over 600 full-time employees that are strictly there to help you with your real estate business, to answer any questions you may have, from accounting to computer problems to contract writing to listing agreements to anything and everything you could possibly think of that might come about during your real estate career that you need help with. It's available to you instantly, and you don't have to wait to find your broker or anything else. That is a big one right there. I think, Breakthrough Broker, Homekeeper, Real Satisfied, these are all great programs. EXP Cloud, where we can actually pull up letters that are pre-done for us to help us get more business. These letters are phenomenal. They are written by professionals and attorneys to help us, look better. Programs like EXP Connect, where we actually allow our customers to have everything connected through EXP, so they don't have to worry about it. We can connect their water, their power, their security systems, their internet, all like that, and they don't have to worry about doing it. We can even forward their mail, for crying out loud. I mean, it's fantastic, and everything that we do makes us look better as their agent because it's got our face in front of them. So EXP Connect is a great program. Intro Lend, another program where we can actually help our customers. I was in my car with a buyer not long ago, and she said, well, we need to talk with a mortgage company. I said, no problem. I pulled out my phone. I put in 3 questions and did what we call a fast track. And immediately they were sent 3 offers from 3 different brokerages, and they got to choose which one they wanted to use. And everything went so easy, and we even pulled their credit for them for free. Typically, that's a $50 charge. We pull it for free for them. So that program is fantastic. We have so much out there.
Too much for our half-hour show. Sorry.
Sorry, guys. I'm so excited about the company.
Well, I mean, there's so much. So if anyone's out there listening and they want to learn more, reach out to Terry, or if you know a panelist, or if you know an EXP agent, obviously reach out to them. But we're going to move on to our next panelist, Sean McMenamin. Sean, what questions do you have for Terry?
Hey, Terry, how you doing?
Hey, Sean, great. Thank you.
So being a broker, now my Alexa's talking to me. Being that you came from the brokerage world and you had 8 agents, so now you said you have 80. So you would think that would create more stress, that would create more work for you. Kind of talk about, you would think, and then the income that you're going to earn off of the 80. Kind of talk about how that works and the fact that you do have these 80 across the country and not limited to your area.
Yeah, well, how that works is EXP actually pays me a referral fee for everything that they sell every single year. Okay, and they actually nurture. Is that the word? Nurture. Thank you. Nurture the agents for me. Okay, so I don't have to worry about anything. If they make a mistake somewhere, I'm not the broker of record, so it doesn't come back on me. Okay, they motivate them. They do everything for them. I talk with them and I help them too along the way, but now it's because I want to, not because I have to. And that's a big thing. I hope I answered your question, Sean.
Absolutely. The fact that you can have more people, you can affect more people and have less of the stress involved with that.
I sincerely have zero stress. It's just, I can't describe it. When you get involved, it won't take you long to realize what we're talking about.
Very good.
Thank you. Okay, and our final panelist, Scott Scari. Scott, what questions do you have for Terry? You got to unmute.
There we go. I was relying on one of our other panelists. Hey, Terry.
Hey, Scott.
So I know that you collaborate a lot with your sponsor and his sponsor. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the things that they bring to the game for you? You were a broker, a successful broker before. What is it about the mind share that you have with your sponsor and his sponsor that is beneficial for you in your business now?
That's a fantastic question. This is what I'll tell you. I have people that reach out to me on a regular basis that have got 30 years experience in the real estate industry. They're some of the top earners of EXP. Gene Frederick, for instance, I send a text to Gene, within 5 minutes, he's responding to me. I mean, this is a man who's making more than 7 figures a year in referral fees from EXP. And again, I want to say to those that own their own brokerage, ask yourself what the ability is of your company to make a 7-figure income. And then take a look at EXP. You know, it's just incredible. I just, the help that I have gotten has changed my life, and it makes everything easier for you, and it makes it happen quicker.
Thanks, Terry.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up another one of our shows. I would like to thank our panelists and our guest speaker, Terry Hooker, and we hope that you tune in tomorrow for 5 at 5 Live. And thank you for joining us.